Proud of our players. The way they responded to the last two games, they found a way to win. Hats off to the coaches also. You can preach staying on course, but working hard, and making things happen. You got to practice that way. You got to practice to make things happen. And telling them today, we got to make sure we finishing on every play and every drive. And today, at practice, the kids they flew around. They got after it. It's a straight tough Tuesday practice, but we appreciate the way they came out today. We're gonna take a step in another direction because we got to play well in all three phases to win this game. It's an explosive offense, a team. The quarterback's averaging 300 yards a game, and the defense is top 10, top 20 against the rush. I think they're giving up 2.9 yards a rush. But it's a really good football team. It's a mature football team. They've done a really good job. Brahms has done a really good job of keeping his kids in a program. And I think that's part of being successful is keeping your kids in a program. Questions?
What's the biggest step you got to take on the O-line? And it's kind of the personnel you have at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts right now with where you're at? What's got to happen?
Well, we got to get them some help. We got to give them some help with the play calling, with protection, all of that. And we got to make sure we have our best five on the field.
What's the status of Quentin and Luke for this week?
They both look good today, but they'll be day to day. They'll be day to day.
How comfortable do you feel with the backup situation there if those two guys either can't go or they have to leave the game on Saturday?
I have no choice but to feel comfortable. Like I said when I was in Jersey, we can't play with 10, so I have to feel comfortable with those guys. I can't not feel comfortable with them, and then they hear what I say in the press, and then they don't go out and play. Because y'all gonna print it. So my kids read this stuff, so I got to make sure that they know that I have confidence in them, and they know I do. They know I have confidence in them because we always say next man up.
Tommy Hill moved over from corner to receiver. Kind of what went into that decision, and is that a permanent move now for Tommy Hill?
It can be. We think we need to get Tommy on the field. If you see, he struggled at corner. So we wanted to get him on the field, and he was a high school receiver. So we decided just to move him over and see if he can help us.
Coach, how do you kind of coach guys to have a short memory? To come back from 13 down on the road in the Big Ten says a lot. So is that something you had to coach them through, or do they kind of have a short memory already?
No, like I told you, the locker room at halftime, they were kind of coaching us. They were saying that we were going to be okay, that they was going to come back and win the game. So what we were doing corrections and getting the game plan on the board. They was like, no, Coach, everything's going to be okay. We're going to come back and win the game. So they had a short memory. They know, hey, we played it. We're going to get it to the fourth quarter, and then we're going to finish. But they did it on their own.
One more on Tommy. With Quentin's situation, was there any thought of moving back for a week, or is that not in the equation at all?
No, it's not in the equation. Not this week.
Yeah.
Not this week.
Gabe Urban didn't appear in that game. What was the decision of running back in that situation?
Well, Gabe, we tried to see if Gabe would go. He's got that toe injury, so we tried to see if we was able to go, and he didn't look good in pregame. And one of my rules here, that the trainer don't tell me that the kid's ready to go. I don't say the kid's ready to go. The position coach don't say he's ready to go. The fans don't say he's ready to go. That kid tells me when he's ready to go, and he said he wasn't ready to go. And that's the way it's going to be as long as I stay in front of this team.
Is there on the back to the offensive line discussion, are you leaving open the possibility that could be rearranged again?
Yes. 2019 at LSU, we had a different five every week. So with the injuries and everything's going to play right now, so it could be a different five. But we're going to get our best five though.
When you look at that offensive line, when you try to hang your hat on something, what would be their strength? What can this group do if you put it all together right?
It's really week to week. What we need to do to win the game. If we need them to run block to win the game, they're going to run block. But if we need them to pass block, they would pass block. And they just got to continue to work. But, my thing is I think that they're really good run blockers, but they also can pass block also. You know, we've been getting a lot of blitzes. They've been heating us up a lot the last 2 weeks. So we're going to do a better job this week of ironing out the protection to give them some help.
The pass rush kind of showed up there against Rutgers. I mean, how important has it been to rotate those guys, keep them fresh up front?
We always talk about rotating them early and getting them to the full quarter so they can be fresh. So Doss did a really good job of rotating those guys. I think he played 5 edge rushers. You know, and that's you got to play that. When it's 80 snaps, maybe 60 to 80 snaps in a game, if you can get a kid in for 10 snaps, that speaks volumes.
What's the momentum work? You guys win 2 in a row, now you're going on the road. How do you see that sort of manifested in the league when you have that kind of momentum?
Well, like I said, we have a 24-hour rule. So we celebrate it for 24 hours. We come in Sunday and we put it to bed Sunday night and we get back on Monday. So it's about preparing. You know, I know we all talk about momentum, but if you played this game, there's really no such thing as momentum because you can have momentum and get your butt whooped. You know, so our job is to come back today and start preparing ourselves to go 1-0 this week.
Is there any value in having 1, 2 in a row just in terms of the spirit and belief and that sort of thing?
You've been here how long? You understand that there's value to it. You understand that? They haven't done this since 2018. So you know it's value to it.
How well do you know Jeff Brom and kind of how he coaches his football teams?
I don't know him personally, but I know he's a really good football coach and he's a really good play caller. He's doing a really good job over at Purdue.
Yeah, how have you seen taking these Mondays now and kind of changing the practice schedule have not only helped your coaches and your preparation for the next week, but has also maybe helped your players' confidence in knowing that the plan is in place and they don't have to come in Monday morning and figure it out?
Well, the number one thing they need to do on Monday is get ready for school. That's the reason we took it off. The coaches going to game plan. They can game plan on Sunday. They can game plan. The number one reason we took Monday off is so they can get their week started with school. Because, you know, remember, we practice in the morning, so they can use Monday to really catch up on homework so when they go into class in the afternoon. But they're really good with it, and I think they really enjoy coming in on Sundays and putting it to bed and Monday having off where they can get their schoolwork out the way, then come in later for our meetings, player-only meetings.
I mean, has it been good for the coaches too that they can probably do some of the game planning on Monday?
Well, this is a veteran staff. If they can do it on Sundays, they do a lot of work on Sundays. And Monday, there's just kind of putting the practice schedule together and getting practice together. But they do a lot of work on Sundays. But it helps them. You know, I mean, you'll have to ask the assistant coaches, but I think it helps them.
What have you seen out of Jacquez Yant as a possible option along with Anthony at running back?
Yes, we like Yant. We want Yant to, you know, drop his pads and find a hole. And if there's nothing there, use the 230 pounds and knock a hole in it. So we look for big things when Yant goes in the game. And we need Yant to pick it up a little bit when he goes in the game and move the pile.
Hey, Mickey, what do you think about Purdue's quarterback? O'Connell, he's been around, and like you said, he's a veteran. What impresses you what jumps out at you when you watch him on tape?
He's a 6-year kid. He's a 6-year veteran kid, so he's got to be 23, 24 years old. You know, he don't make mistakes. When the ball's always, I always say the ball's always in the area code. It's always somewhere around the body. But he runs that offense well. He's been there for 6 years. So he's a really good quarterback. He gets them going.
What did you think of the way your kids handled the atmosphere? It was a pretty decent crowd for World, and now you're going to go sell out. How do you think you guys handled that and keeping the boys?
Well, I think the boys did a great job at Rutgers with the so-called sellout crowd. Because it wasn't a sellout. Let's be real about it. Okay, let's be real about it. It wasn't a sellout. So we hoping Purdue have a sellout. Okay, we hope Purdue has a sellout because at the end of the day, we embrace playing in a hostile environment. You know, chaos, we embrace that. Control chaos, we embrace that. And the kids, that really get their focus.
How much do you play up sort of the stakes of the weekend? Two teams kind of prefer in the division, all that.
Well, we talked to him about nobody's going to win the West October 15th. So it's the next game up. You know, his job is to go 1-0 this week. But nobody's going to win the West on October 15th. So we're not looking down the line. We're looking at straight at Purdue. So tomorrow practice is the most important thing is Wednesday practice.
Mickey, how's Casey health-wise, and what's your level of concern with some of the shots he's taking?
Casey's a tough dude. You know, he's going to take shots. I mean, he plays quarterback, and we drop back, and we move the pocket, but he takes shots. You know, I played option quarterback. I took shots, but Casey's a tough guy. You know, he was on the ground. He said it was his left shoulder. I asked him, I said, "You throw with your right shoulder, right?" I said, "Okay, get up." And he got up. Casey's tough. Casey's going to be to take those shots and get up.
After the game, Kevin Warren came up and said some words to you. Just any insight on what you talked about?
Oh, you just said congratulations and, you know, just keep working. He's a good guy.
Hey, Mickey, how's Mark Whipple? We saw him, he was on a little surgery scooter over the weekend at Maryland, and had a cart kind of taking him off the field. How's Coach Whipple doing? Has he been limited at all with what he's been able to do day to day?
No. Whipple's fine. You know, Whipple's fine. I mean, he's dealing with some things, but it's not getting in the way of him working. You know, he's showed up for the game. We had to put him on a cart. I mean, Whipple's been coaching like 40-some years. He should get a cart if he wasn't dealing with something. You know, so Whipple's okay. Whipple's tough. Whipple's probably toughest dude on the staff. You know, nobody don't mess with Whip, so Whip's okay. I want you to ask him that question too, and then let him get after you.
Coach, 3 interceptions against Indiana. You have one against Indiana, 3 against Rutgers. What do you think is it about your guys' ability to create turnovers since Coach Bush has taken over?
You know, Bush and Fish is doing a really good job at that back end. They really clean up the kids' eyes, because you're gonna get more picks in zone coverage, and so they clean up their eyes. They're doing a really good job working together. It kind of reminds me when Bush was with Corey Raymond and LSU, that the kids are breaking on the ball, they're trusting what they see, and they're making plays.
Kind of going off that, Coach, I mean, it's been since the third quarter against Oklahoma, so you guys have allowed a point in the second half. So, I mean, that was a problem for this team in recent years. So what's been the change, you think, that's been more successful just in the third and fourth quarter?
Well, we made a change at defensive coordinator. That's the change.
You had a guy enter the portal today, but how have you felt about that, just that wide receiver room as a whole, and like where it is? I guess Bonner made the trip, on Friday, and just kind of what's your assessment of that whole group and what's happened?
It's still a strong run. You know, I mean, Isaiah has that right. You know, he wasn't happy. He wanted to be the #1 guy, and we couldn't do that for him. But Isaiah's a good kid. He's done everything we asked him to do. But that's the reason they have the portal. I mean, coaches leave all the time. So when the kid leave, you can't sit back and be angry at him. You got to say, hey, if I can help you in any way, let me know, because that's being real. That's being real, not yelling and screaming at them saying, I want you to stay here. No, if they want to leave, then they have that right to leave.
What do you see out of young Bonner just got here? What's his potential?
Oh, ceiling is high. Kid's going to be a really good football player. But we're going to put him out there when he's ready.
One or two more to go, if there is. Saw Omar Manning with the on crutches on Friday. What's his long-term?
He's day to day. You know, he got tackled on an over route and got his ankle caught up in the turf. So he's day to day. We'll see how he is at the end of the week.
Coach, back to back second half shutouts. Has there been any thought to black shirts again, or is that still?
No.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.